We're going to be hand sewing these, so I recommend going ahead and drawing in your seam allowance line on at least one of A's curved lines, one of B's curved lines, and then we're going to go ahead and draw the seam allowance line on both A's and both B's for the remainder. And how I would do that, and that way it's just going to make stitching a lot faster. There's a couple ways to go ahead and do that. So first, I'm going to be using a Sharpie so that you can see it. Please use a pencil or some chalk if you have chalk. If not, pencil works great. So that my marker doesn't bleed through onto my ironing board, I'm going to go ahead and put a board underneath. So for my A piece, I only need one curved line because I'm going to be stitching from one side. So there's a couple ways I can mark my 1/4 inch. If you have what's called a see-through ruler, they come in different colors as well as different widths and lengths. You can measure out a 1/4 inch and lay the ruler on the fabric at a 1/4 inch, and then go ahead and make some dash lines. You can fill in the whole line too if that's what makes you feel more comfortable. I'm usually pretty good with dash lines, so I can go ahead and do it something like this. So what I've done is each of these 20 squares is an 1/8, so I lay 2 of the squares over and I rotate the ruler. If you don't have a see-through, that's fine. We can use a conventional ruler. I'm going to go ahead and line up the 0 mark with the edge of my fabric and move in a 1/4 inch, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and make a little dash line. Move the ruler. Move the ruler. Move the ruler. So I can go back in if I need any more fill lines. I can go back in and do that. And like I said, I'm only going to do it on the curved edge, this long curved edge for A and B on one side, because I'm going to be sewing them together like this. And when I'm holding this while I'm stitching, I can just stitch this on one side without moving it to the other. If you'd like, you can go ahead and draw your 1/4 inch on both of the curve, but it's not necessary. From there, I'm going to go ahead and do my 1/4 inch along my top line here, and then along my bottom here. I'll use my ruler for the top so you can see that it's easy either way. Just making sure that you're marking an even allowance. So I have my curved edge there. And then for the bottom, I'm going to use my see-through ruler just to demonstrate. Since the bottom is a straight line, I'm going to line up my 1/4 inch and go ahead and draw. Now I need to go ahead and do the curved lines on both of the straight lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is just your guide for where your stitch line will be. Because we'll be sewing these by hand. Like so. So I have my 2 A's. And then for my 2 B's, Again, I only need to do one curved line because we're going to be sewing these two pieces together at this curve. So I'm going to do my one curved line. I'll go ahead and show it with my ruler. Again, go ahead and make your little hash marks or your line solid or dashed, just as long as you can keep your stitches even from the edge, because the goal of this is to have a nice clean even stitching so that everything comes together nicely, and that ideally, if you have even seam allowance, you have your back stitch, a nice close back stitches, you'll be able to wash this in the machine and not have to worry about it unraveling. So then, again, you can have just this for the whole thing. For speed, I'm sure you don't want to watch a video of me slowly doing this. I'm gonna go ahead and use the see-through for the bottom and for the top. Like so. And then for my other bee, don't need to do this, but I do want to go ahead and mark these. The same principle is in play, so you don't necessarily, but it's okay. Next thing we're going to want to mark with our chalk or pencil is, because our pieces are going to sit like this and we're going to create a channel with this extra, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and create a little mark here so we know that that's where we're going to fold it. And if we like, we can create another mark here, 1/4 inch, because we're going to do a 1/4 inch fold. So then again for the other side, lining all these up, just some guidelines which will make completion of this much faster. Okay, so after you're done marking, your pieces should look like this.